Thank you for joining us, and enjoy the show.
So much light, all the time. And on sunny days, you almost felt like you were sitting outside. It was that bright.
That surprised you, Grace?
Well, it was a factory. I thought it would be dark and dirty.
Then I don't work there.
I was 15. Time I paid my own way.
Your own way? What about school?
Oh, I didn't miss it so much. The girls there were all so nice, and the work wasn't hard. It wasn't like factory work, really. It was more like art, painting those dials. We were artists.
I'm not the one you should be talking to. It's Von Sashaki. That's who you want to talk to.
Now, Arthur, you know he won't speak to us.
It was his process.
Tell me about that process, Arthur. You said you used the powder?
We used the powder. The girls mixed it with an adhesive to make the paint. But that business with the brushes, well, they were doing that long before I got there.
But you knew about it.
We all knew about it. We just didn't realize what it meant.
Irene!
In here.
Irene, what are you doing?
Shut the door.
Amelia's working inspection today.
Was that bad?
Not for us.
She's gonna be sitting in this room all day by herself in the dark checking dials.
Poor thing.
Poor thing.
So we're gonna give her a little surprise.
Boo! Like a touch out of cat.
Oh, will that make her mad?
Let her get mad.
That's half the fun.
Well, I don't want to make her mad.
Oh, Grace. You have to be that way about everything?
What way?
Your teeth, Grace. Put some on your teeth.
Ain't like Amelia don't deserve it. She paints more dolls than any girl here on the floor. I couldn't be bothered to talk to nobody either. You say, Amelia, what's new? And she just looks at you funny.
Well, Irene, I don't think she could speak much English.
Wouldn't kill her to smile, would it?
She's coming.
Get the light.
Where's the switch?
Say cat.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh. Painting your faces? Have you gone off your minds?
It was just a joke.
A job. A job like that can lose her her job.
No, Mrs. McNeil. I'm sure that is not necessary.
I don't tolerate no foolishness, Doctor.
Yeah, foolishness. We don't want any of that, do we? Mr. Roder, this is the inspection room, where the dials of our painted script come. These are some of the girls on the floor who should be working. Girls, this is Mr. Roder, my new vice president and your new plant manager.
And I was just telling Mr. Roder here what a fine bunch of girls we have. He must take it halfway into my mind now.
Mrs. McNeil, I'm sure Mr. Roder has some words for the girls.
Well, girls, the paint you've been playing with is very expensive. Do you realize this?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It takes several tons of ore to produce a single gram of radium. That's a lot of work, hard work for the men at the extraction plant. But they do this work gladly. Do you know why they work so hard? What we're all working for?
The war?
That's right, the war. The dials you paint save lives. Our boys defend them in the field, reading in the dark, no mistaking what they see. Otherwise, some of our boys won't be coming home. So if you keep messing around and don't take this work seriously, you'll be playing right into the hands of the Kaiser, and we don't want that, do we?
No, sir, certainly not.
So let's get back to work now and leave this tomfoolery to home.
Mr. Roder, I just wanted to say I really, really am sorry. I won't do nothing like this ever again.
Well, dear, just remember, if you do right by us, we'll do right by you.
May 17th, 1921. Nancy Jane Harlan here with the New York Graphic. The New York Graphic's only girl reporter.
Jack Youngwood here for the New York Ledger, New York's first source for news.
Madame Marie Curie, eminent French scientist, embarks on a whistle-stop tour of the United States.
First up, New York City, where she is greeted by an enthusiastic crowd of well-wishers.
The High Priestess of Science is headed to Washington to receive a gift of 1 gram of radium, valued at $100,000.
Purchased for her by members of the Marie Curie Radium Club, an association of 100,000 American women,
who each donated $1 to support humanitarian research with radium.
Grace, over here.
Irene, look, I got my certificate. Member, Marie Curie Radium Club. $1? It's all for science.
For science, what about my room and board?
Look, there she comes.
Welcome all. I must ask you, ladies and gentlemen of the press, please slip your questions. Madame Curie is about to embark on an exhaustive tour of the country and is under strict doctor's orders to rest. Although, in typical fashion of a scientist who can only think of her research, her life's work, she has refused to rest.
Madam Curie, what will you do with radium? What will you do with the radium?
I will continue my experiments to find better methods for the treatment of the cancer. Is radium a cure for all cancer?
Cure for the cancer? Yes, cure for the cancer, that is so. It does already cure all kinds of the cancer.
But some doctors dispute that.
So they do not understand the method. So there is no question. Radium will cure the cancer.
Madam Curie.
Madam Curie.
Madam Curie, how have you managed to devote yourself both to science and to your children?
It has not been easy. But my daughters share my gratitude to the American women for their interest in science and my work. I am most grateful.
Madam Curie.
Madam Curie.
Madam Curie.
No more questions. Madam Curie is on a tight schedule. Mrs. Andrew Carnegie has sent a car and will escort Dr. Curie personally, as will I, to Washington, where President Harding will present the gift of 1 gram of radium.
See that, Charlie? This is a marketing opportunity. Let's send her one of our watches courtesy of the U.S. Radium Corporation.
We'll need a press release.
Radium isn't just for scientists to study. Average Americans can bask in its glory every night. Luminous watches, luminous clocks. Consider all the other advances that have taken place over the past 50 years. The telegraph,
The telephone
the automobile, all inventions once considered as novelties, as toys.
are now essentials to modern life. Got it. That'll sell some watches.
Watches, absolutely. But you heard the lady, that's not where the growth is now, it's the medical market.
Instead of Chemical owns it.
Only because Von Sashaki lets them take it. But if we wanted to, we can get half their business, it's just a matter of positioning.
Standard Chemical publishes journal. Send it out monthly to 12,000 doctors. We could do something similar.
Something scholarly, that way the doctors would respect it.
A bibliography listing every article ever published on Radium.
But with the capsule reports, to save the doctor's time, they would get the information and find it fast.
Have us to thank for it.
Great, we'll send it to every doctor in the U.S. Dental Society.
Every doctor in the American Medical Association.
That's the spirit, Charlie. Advertising. It's the wave of the future. It's not just the product, but the way you promote it.
You should have seen it, Grace. The church was filled with flowers. Lilies and carnations and orchids. You know how Amelia loved orchids.
Those weren't orchids.
They were orchids, Irene.
Flags.
Orchids! I know an orchid when I see one. Purple orchids. Oh, and that smell, Grace. What was that smell? It was like flowers? No, it was like heaven. I was gonna say it was like heaven.
Like Heaven, Catherine, it was just a funeral. You're making out like some sort of Valentino picture.
It wasn't just a funeral. It was Amelia's, and it was beautiful. You should have seen it, Grace. The church was like the botanical gardens, and the company sent us big spray of flowers too. Carnations.
Mums.
Yellow carnations.
Those were mums.
Wow, it sounds like a very nice service anyhow.
Girls. The whistle's already gone. Now then, we're going back to the old way of pointing to brushes. Because there isn't too much paint in the cloth. Yes, Grace, something you wish to say.
Dr. Von Shashaki told us not to do that. He said that it was unsanitary.
Unsanitary? Well, I can hardly believe he'd say such a thing. We've been doing it this way as long as I've been here. You must have misunderstood him.
Yes, ma'am.
And you're not to get new brushes until you've done with the old. They got to be so bad that you can't get to point no more.
You can't make quota like that.
Well, we'll do our best then, won't we? Since I have my new instructions.
I need a new brush.
It's not for us to be asking the questions, is it? It's for us to do the work.
I have my instructions, girls. I have my instructions.
Here's an instruction for you, McNeil. Some of the Star Trek reports said.
Oh, was she at the service?
McNeil, are you kidding? Think you crossed the street for a mother?
Most everybody else was, though. You was about the only girl from the floor who wasn't there.
Well, I wanted to be there, but Ma was working and I had to watch the little ones.
You could have brought them. All 7? Well, if it was me, I'd have tried to get there.
Just lay off. Grace feels as bad as it is.
Were many of the fellas there?
Oh, yeah. Lots of fellas from the front office. Mr. Roth, Dr. Von Shashaki, oh, and Mr. Roeder.
And he left early.
So, he was there all the same. Oh, and Grace, you know that one fellow from Crystallizing with the red hair? He was there, you know what?
Yeah, the tall fellow with the freckles?
That's the one who snaps his fingers all the time.
What's his name?
George. Jerry.
I think it's George.
It's Jerry. Jerry Mellon. He's always talking to Amelia in the day room.
Oh my God, that's right! Grace, when the mass was over, he goes up to the coffin and he goes like this. He goes,
No.
yes, really?
Oh, for pity's sakes.
Well, he did.
So what if he did?
So what? He was in love with her, that's so what. Don't you think so, Grace?
Well, I guess he had to bet if he did that.
And can you imagine if he loved her and never told her? Never could bring himself to say, well, because she was so beautiful and because he was so shy. Now it's too late. It's too late. Their love is forever thwarted. He didn't tell her and he'll never get the chance to ever again.
Poor Amelia.
Poor Amelia.
Poor kid.
Her family took it awful bad, Grace. Albina, Quinta, everybody, every one of them crying. Even her father crying so bad. I never saw a man cry before, and not like that, just bawling like a baby.
And you know why, too.
Well, because their daughter had died.
What she died from.
I mean, don't go spreading stories.
It's not a story Albina told us. No reason Grace should know.
Know what? Know what? Amelia?
Ain't it awful? Albina said her father is fit to be tied too. 6 girls at home and ain't none of them ever going to a dance again.
All because Amelia Upton died from syphilis. What? Look it up if that's what she died from.
You don't know that for sure.
It's on the death certificate.
Anemia and complications from syphilis.
Oh, but Amelia was ever so nice.
Guess she got around a little more than we knew.
Well, maybe it was a mistake. Maybe the doctor got it wrong.
Oh, come on.
Doctors can make mistakes. They're wrong sometimes.
That's true. Doctor was wrong about Aunt Ivy.
What's Mama gonna do with this?
Irene, don't you remember? Up to the day she died, doctor said Aunt Ivy would be fine. He said, take a cup of tea, get a good night's rest. And 2 days later, we were taking her to Rosedale Cemetery.
Girls, the gentlemen are here to make an announcement.
We're going to put a few rumors to rest.
And to explain some changes, no?
Yes, as some of you may have heard by now, Dr. Bonsa-Shaki is stepping down, and he'd like to take this opportunity
To make good goodbye. And Mr. Roder has kindly consented. Some of you I've known since you were little girls, coming here during the war, working so hard, day after day at the bench, thinking 200, 300, some of you $500 a day. So excited to be part of our work here. When this company, I started mixing up the paint in my own kitchen, I found something miraculous, something to make life easier, better. And what do I read now? More and more uses are there for radium, more than I ever imagined. Thank you, Doctor.
Yes, thank you, Doctor. Now, as the Doctor is a very busy man and must be on his way, let's wish him the best of luck in his new business ventures.
Let us good luck wish Mr. Roder as well, to the plea he steps up to as the new company president. Our congratulations to him.
Thank you.
When Mr. Roder came to us 4 years ago, I saw in him a young man of great enterprise
Thank you.
and great ambition.
Yes, thank you.
Little did I know the direction that ambition would take. But that's one of the great things about this nation. The opportunities it presents to a young man and his friends.
And so, girls.
And so, ladies, let us wish Mr. Roder the best in the new direction he intends to take the company.
New direction.
With the business moving into the medical market,
Now, Doctor.
there's going to be a lot of changes around here, yeah?
What the Doctor is referring to is some of our larger customers are opening up their own dial painting studios.
Which means less work for our girls here.
In the short run, things may be slower here, but the Waterbury Clock Company is opening up their own dial painting studio in Connecticut. We were intending on making this announcement next week, but we'll make it now. Miss McNeil?
Well, we'll be sending some of your girls up too.
The work is supervisory, which means more pay. You have some goals in mind?
Yes, Louise Corlin, Sarah Deutsch, Lena McCarthy, and Katrin Schwab. I have one list downstairs. I'll send it up to you today.
Fine. There you have it, girls. As we are all on the clock, we will leave you to your work.
My best wishes to you girls.
Get back to work with you girls.
Are you gonna do it, Catherine? Are you gonna take that job?
I don't know, Grace, would you? Would you move to Connecticut?
Oh, gee, I don't know. That's awful far from home, and Tommy would have a fit.
Oh, come on, Grace. It'd be fun. Won't it be fun, Irene? Irene?
Irene, honey, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. Why wouldn't I be?
Your mouth. It's bleeding.
$35 a week and she quits the place.
More to laugh than money.
That's what you say when you're young, Tom. When you and Grace get to be my age with a house full of your kids underfoot, you'll thank God for every penny you put by.
We got money put by.
How much?
Enough to get married on.
It doesn't take much to get married on. You got enough to stay married on.
You let us get married and we'll find out.
Are you still eating, Tommy?
It's good.
You're gonna get fat.
You've gotta keep his strength up. He works for his money.
Don't start, Ma.
I didn't say nothing that your father hit the roof over it.
He did not hit the roof.
You should see the man's face, Tom, when he found out Grace wasn't working no more. Most girls would put their eye teeth for a job like that. Good money, easy work, not slipping bells around the plant.
You didn't tell me about them, Grace.
Well, there wasn't that many of them. They hardly seem worth the mention.
And she gives it all up for reasons unknown. I'm tired of working up there, she says. What, you tired of the paycheck, I says. Who needs a paycheck, she says. I got me a boyfriend to take me out on Saturdays.
Oh, she said that now.
Oh, you know I didn't. And for your information, I did get a job. I started at the bank on Monday.
Ah, the bank. What's the pay?
Enough.
Enough. Always enough. Guess that means it don't come close to what it pays with the rating.
Ma, it's office work.
Office work. Guess it means you can spend more money on clothes then.
Boy, she really is steamed at you.
I don't see what difference it makes so long as I'm working somewheres.
Don't make no difference to me. I just thought you liked it up there.
Sure, I liked it. I worked there 4 years.
So I've been delivering mail almost 8 years now. I plan to keep on delivering mail another 20 or 30 years. If I'm lucky, nothing like good work and a steady pension to help you sleep at night.
Well, I don't have a pension and I sleep just fine.
I bet you do. So how come you quit, Grace?
Well, lots of girls are quitting, and honestly, since Irene left, it just ain't as much fun. And besides, wouldn't you rather have a girlfriend who works at a bank?
Not as much as I'd like to have a wife who didn't work anywhere.
Close your eyes. I have a surprise for you.
Yeah, one for me to pull the shades?
Not that kind of surprise. Keep them closed. Open.
Wallpaper.
For the baby's room.
Baby's room? You won't kiss me and you're talking about babies?
Well, there's gonna be babies eventually, Tommy.
Well, sure, Grace, but you know, most girls, they get married before they decorate the nursery.
Plan ahead for once. Pick one.
Ah, they're both the same.
No, they're not. This one has little flowers and this one has big flowers. So pick one.
This some kind of test?
No, it's just wallpaper.
This is some kind of test.
Pick one, Tommy.
That one.
Really?
The other one then.
Oh, but I want you to like it too.
They're both nice.
Well, this one is pretty, don't you think?
That one then.
Which one do you like though?
If you like it, I'll like it. Wallpaper is wallpaper.
No, it isn't. You gotta pick something you can stand to look at for the next 20 years.
Same way you pick a woman?
Keep it up, smarty pants, you won't ever get that kiss.
Okay. This one. This one hands down.
I like it too. A nice neutral yellow goes with either a boy or a girl, and until that baby comes, we could use the room for other things.
Yeah, like what?
Like a painting studio, maybe?
A paint studio, maybe. Didn't you get enough of paint at work?
Well, sure, Tommy, but not the kind I wanted to do. I used to paint watercolors, and ever since I went to work and had to help Ma, I just don't have no time. What with helping Ma and watching the kids. Once we're married, I just want a little time, just a little to myself, so as I can paint watercolors or oils or portraits in oil. I can paint your portrait too, if you like.
Why not? Paint a big picture of me and we'll hang in the outhouse. All our friends will come around just to use a can so they can look at it.
The way you talk sometimes, Tommy.
Oh, Grace, if you want to paint pictures, paint pictures. I ain't gonna stop you.
Well, you say that now, Tommy, but once we're married, you'll change your tune.
Sure, I'll be whistling Dixie.
Why do you come home some night, some Christmas maybe, when every customer on her house has had 3 times the mail, and maybe some dog took after you, and some old lady kept you waiting on her stoop telling you all about her grandchildren. And you wouldn't have the heart to tell her you can't talk. I know you. So you come home all tired and cranky, late, besides hungry, want your dinner, and then there I am, with my drop cloth on the floor, my paint spread all across the table, my easel set up in the kitchen, but your dinner, nowhere in sight. What would you say then?
Better be a picture of me you're painting.
I know what you'd say. Where's my dinner? That's what you'd say. Where's my dinner?
Well, sure, but I'd still admire the painting. Just want to look at it on a full stomach is all. Now, how'd I do? Pick the right wallpaper?
I don't know. Maybe I should go look at stripes.
Stripes? Polka dots. I don't care, Grace. Let's just get married. You're plenty old enough. Tell your mom we ain't waiting no more. We'll just run off.
Tommy, we're not gonna run off. We're gonna do this right. A nice church wedding with flowers and music, and then a week at the seashore, just the two of us. You'll see, it'll be worth the wait. Oh, ow.
Your mouth hurting you?
Yeah, the doctor says he wants to pull another tooth in the back.
Well, what's a tooth?
Hazel Kusser. Any connection with the others?
Only by virtue of employment.
Except she's got a good lawyer.
No, I write a good letter anyway, that lawyer.
And, she no longer works here.
That was 6 months ago.
This makes 4 now.
3.
4 if you count the magic girl.
I wouldn't include her.
She worked here.
She also worked other places. And what she died from, I don't think you can capture her, at least. I don't think you can.
That's not funny, Charlie, and besides, that's just idle talk.
In my experience, there's usually something to the idle talk when it comes to girls like that.
From a large family, wasn't she?
Yeah, Italians, the conditions they lived in. 10, 12 people in 3 rooms. No wonder they die from one infection or another.
3 then. And how many dead?
Only Miss Maggia. I haven't heard from her people yet.
It's too late for them anyway. Statute of limitations is 2 years. However, Miss Kusser's another story. She's in a position to make trouble right now.
In all my years of working here, no one has as much as slipped on the floor. And now this.
We're talking about 3 girls out of how many hundreds you've employed?
600, 700 over the years.
Exactly. Some of them were sick when they got here. One girl you hired was a complete cripple. Couldn't even walk up the stairs. Her father had to carry her up to her studio every morning.
Didn't make any difference to me how she got here. She was a good worker and a very sweet little girl.
But she was in poor health.
She needed work.
Arthur, Charlie.
And not just for the money, to have a purpose. That's what work does, Charlie. It gives us a purpose. I don't see why we should stop hiring girls like that.
When some girl gets sick and tries to blame us for it, you might want to reconsider that policy.
Let's see what Dr. Drinker has to say.
Dr. Drinker?
Some professor at Harvard School for Industrial Hygiene.
He chairs the department and has agreed to take a look at our operations.
Don't you think we're jumping the gun just a bit hiring him?
6 girls have quit this week, and Miss McNeil tells me there could be more.
Girls come and go all the time.
This is different. These girls are terrified. They need something to calm them.
Letting Drinker examine them? That sounds like a recipe for mass hysteria.
We'll tell them it's a routine physical.
Companies get physical all the time.
Great. So Drinker will start next month.
In the meantime, I recommend we reach out to Miss Kusser.
Settled?
There's no proof that her problems are connected to us.
But if she sues, believe me, you won't like the publicity it brings, and neither will your investors.
You think this will affect the stock offering?
Don't you?
Great. So we'll open at 30, close at 10.
We're not open at all.
But if we give this girl something, that'll keep her quiet.
It will be a condition of the settlement.
Maybe we better do it then.
Suppose this lawyer has a racket going. He finds sick girls and talks them into suing. Then we reward him for his larceny.
Unless this Kusser girl genuinely believes she got sick here.
It could be like Charlie said. She comes from a large immigrant family, not well educated, not a lot of resources.
A few $100s would make a big difference to a family like that.
Certainly. Buy her some medicine, pay some doctor's bills. From the sound of this letter, I don't think she has long to live anyway.
So it'd be a gesture of decency then.
Exactly.
So what do you think we should offer?
March 24th, 1924. Jack Enwood here for the New York Ledger.
Nancy Jane Harlan here for the New York Graphic. The Graphic's only girl reporter.
Could a radium water pose a cure for crippling arthritis? Scientific studies suggest a connection.
Dateline, Orange, New Jersey. Radium water products offer miracle cure for crippling arthritis.
Some patients reported a significant abatement in their symptoms.
Mrs. Jeremy Michaels of the Bronx tells how radium water transformed her life.
My pain was so bad, I could hardly bend over.
While others reported only mild relief.
This poor, brave woman couldn't even bend down to kiss her little ones goodnight.
And believe me, they're a handful. I've got 3.
Dr. Harrison Martland, Chief Medical Examiner of Essex County, commented on the study.
Preliminary at best.
Your recommendations, Dr. Martland?
I would advise further study. Further study.
Then Mrs. Michaels tried Radiathor.
Well, they said it would help with my rheumatism, so I drank a bottle a day for a month. It wasn't cheap, but I was desperate.
The test sample is questionably small.
It hit me like a bolt of lightning. That's how powerful it was. Now I drink a bottle a week just to maintain my health. And I can scrub the kitchen floor and hang laundry just like I've always done.
Dr. J.A. William Bailey of Orange, inventor of Radiathor, reports strong demand for his product.
Dr. William Bailey of Orange announces sales of Radiathor have reached 100,000 cases worldwide.
Radioactivity is one of those remarkable agents in medical science. I drink Radiathor myself, and I can vouch for its power.
A bottle a day?
At $1 a bottle.
Definitely worth every penny.
Yes, indeed. I myself was a picture of lethargy before I discovered the amazing, vitalizing qualities of radium water. Now look at me. I'm nearly 50 years old, but I have the energy of a man in his 30s.
You rather look like a man in his 30s.
Well, thanks.
A testament to the sonic's potency?
Or this is the solar's creativity?
Radiathor! It is perpetual sunshine!
And a perpetual money machine for its inventor.
Is there no end to what science can do?
Maybe we should have made an appointment.
Don't need no appointment.
Oh, it's a busy place, Catherine. If you didn't make one, maybe you should.
I shouldn't need an appointment for this.
Sorry, I don't find anything under shop.
No, it's under Rudolph.
Rudolph?
The girl I'm asking about, Irene Rudolph?
Did she file the complaint?
No, the dentist did.
The dentist?
Dr. Neff, Irene's dentist. He said she might have a bossy jaw and was going to complain to the health department about it, but when they asked him, he said he hadn't heard nothing, and it's been more than 6 months now.
Bossy jaw, you say?
Yes!
Catherine, you ever think maybe it could be like the doctor said, a blood infection?
Yeah, but what gave it to her? That's the thing. What's it from?
From dirt. You get infections from dirt.
From dirt? Her face puffed up like a pumpkin. Her jaw rotted so bad she couldn't eat nothing. You think you get something like that from a little dirt? Get it from phosphorus. They're telling everybody it's the radium in that paint, but it's really the phosphorus that makes it glow.
Honestly, Catherine, you can't really believe all that.
You saw her, Grace.
Catherine, if it was like you said, they never let you work up there in the first place.
Sure, then I shut the place down by now.
Shut it down? Who? Who's gonna shut it down?
I don't know. The county?
Honestly, Grace, you're such a ninny.
Hey.
How are they gonna shut it down if they don't know about it? Ever think of that?
Now, come on.
It's all right, Tommy.
She's got no business talking to you that way.
She's just upset.
Upset? She's gone around the bend. She probably thinks you're dumping arsenic in the drinking water. Next will be the kidnapping babies and using to stoke the furnace.
Go ahead and laugh. You won't laugh so hard when it's you coming in here 6 months from now asking after Grace.
Oh, for crying out loud.
Catherine, it's just a toothache.
Yeah? That's how it started out for Irene. Just a toothache. You wait, Grace. You wait. You'll wake up one morning, your gums hurting so bad you won't be able to open your mouth. So weak and sick, you won't be able to stand up.
Catherine.
The pain's so bad you won't be able to sleep, and your face so swollen you won't be able to stand up.
Grace is fine. Right, Gracie?
Irene Rudolph?
That's it.
She worked in the radium plant?
Yes, ma'am.
Nothing.
Huh?
The company is in full compliance with the state health and labor regulations. They ordered analysis of paint.
Let me see that.
Miss, really.
Who's Miss Young?
That's the health officer, miss.
Paint is a harmless compound of radium and zinc.
As I was saying, the analysis showed there's no phosphorus in the paint. There's no phosphorus anywhere in the plant. There. You see, Catherine? Miss Young toured the plant herself. I'm sorry, miss.
Well, yes, that's lunch.
I'm gonna file another complaint.
They already did an investigation.
I want to file another complaint!
Oh, brother.
Catherine, these folks here, they're awful busy.
I want to file another complaint.
I don't see what good this is gonna do to make such a fuss this way.
Grace, 3 surgeries, and they wanted to cut her again. She finally said no. She knew what was left of her jaw had rotted so bad, the smell was terrible. And Grace, the worst of it is, I couldn't look at her. Irene was so afraid of being left at home, and I left her alone. She died, it was the middle of the night, and nobody was there with her.
Excuse me, can I have another form? My friend and I would like to file another complaint.
Another complaint. Is the girl still sick? No, she died! Wait right here.
Harriet, come down from that tree at once.
I'm waiting for Papa.
Fine, when he gets here, I'll send him up after you.
There he is. Papa. Papa.
Harriet? Harriet, come down at once.
Papa. I can see good at the church.
Can you? Do you see your grandfather?
No, but I see the schoolhouse.
I think this is funny.
She's enjoying herself.
Harriet!
Tell you what, if she has no one to shout to, she won't shout.
I can hear her all over the neighborhood.
Can't they?
When she gets down from there, I want you to speak to her.
She's 9 years old, Diana.
I'm trying to raise a daughter, not a son.
Time is on your side. In a year or two, she'll lose all interest in trees and develop a fascination with boys.
And that's supposed to scare me.
And when the day comes, you'll be frantic because she'll no longer want to climb trees.
What's this?
Something to give you vitality.
You think I need vitality?
That's what it says on the bottle.
Is it pure?
We're a supplier. You want to try it?
If it could give me vitality, how could I refuse? Father came by to see me today.
Let me guess. Another hard luck case?
4 children at home, all under the age of 6.
Wife in the hospital with cancer?
Yes.
And a husband who's been laid off from, let's see, the brickyard?
Yes.
Through no fault of his own?
How did you know?
Father came by to see me again today. It's never enough with him to have an ordinary goal in life. You have some kind of mission.
You do.
No, I have a business with him.
What about Dan Lehman?
Dan?
I feel like you could use some help.
Dan needs trained technicians, not some bricklayer. Why don't you send him to that social club you women have?
You mean the Women's Club Civics Committee?
Right.
Yes, the club does take an interest in such cases, but it's not an employment service either. Which is why I thought you could help them.
But you do love being married to the company president.
It does have its advantages.
Ever think of trading it in?
Do you?
The other day I was getting my shoe shine, and as I watched the boy work, I thought, this is quite an enterprise. Work comes in, work comes out, no inventory, no warehouse, no stock price, no shareholders.
You trade all that in for your own shoe shine stand?
You were headaches that way.
So what are those moods again? What is it this time? It can't be the market. What up today?
Now you're reading the financial pages?
I gotta entertain myself somehow. So what is it? You're acting very strange.
Am I? I'm sorry.
Don't talk to me, you know?
Nothing to say, really. It's going to be our best year yet.
So it's a prospect of success you find so disheartening.
I'll get my check there.
What for?
You're a bricklayer.
Artie, he needs a job, not charity. What is it your father says? A working man needs to work, it wears.
It wears out his soul not to work. Or if it's a matter of soul, that's different. I'll talk to Dan.
Artie,
But no promises, Diane.
no promises.
To your help.
How long have you had this drainage?
A week or two. It hurt something awful, Dr. Neff.
Anything else bothering you?
Oh, my back. It hurts some too.
You're back now. Have you seen your regular physician?
He says it's nerves.
Nerves?
About my wedding and all.
This is in the case of nerves, Miss Fryer.
What do you think?
I think you better schedule that surgery.
Couldn't we just put it off a couple weeks until after my wedding?
You don't have that surgery. You won't have a wedding.
Huh?
Miss Fryer, I want you to listen to me. Your jawbone is decaying. That's the black pus oozing out of your gums. It's the bone itself.
That's impossible.
To Mr. Arthur Roder, U.S. Radium Corporation, from Cecil Drinker, Harvard University, encloses our report.
Finally.
We believe the trouble in your plant is due to the radium.
Radium?
It can't be as bad as all that.
This can't be it.
Put off the surgery and you will develop a septic condition. It could be fatal.
Blood changes in your employees can be explained on no other grounds.
Every penny I have, I've saved for my wedding.
Photographic films carried by employees show heavy fogging.
Well, I've got a suggestion for you.
And we suspect high levels of gamma radiation throughout the plant.
Go to the radium plant and explain your situation.
Go to the company.
We realize no proof can be shown at present.
Once they see what kind of shape you're in,
This is impossible.
I don't see how they can refuse.
But, in view of the material in the literature,
It's a mistake.
and the facts disclosed in our investigation,
It's impossible for them to refuse.
we recommend immediate and drastic remedial actions.
Look, if you want, I'll write to them for you. They can work through me, just pay my bills back.
You think that they do that?
Charlie!
They got a moral obligation, don't you think?
I guess so.
We'll do it right now. Get some paper.
Yes, you know what? That's it. He's wrong. He's wrong. That's all I know. He's wrong. He's wrong.
They must be overlooking something.
If there's a new ailment, it should occur generally throughout the plant.
One would expect.
There were several hundred milligrams in big vats present at all times. Several hundred milligrams in the ore, several hundred milligrams in
The
crystallized.
entire backyard is filled with tailings.
Radium is present in good amounts all over this plant.
If it's radium, then the highest incidence of illness will be in the laboratory.
And no one there is sick.
So it must be some combination with the radium and the zinc?
Or maybe it's something peculiar to the plant alone.
Some kind of bacteria, perhaps, in the brushes.
There are dozens of application plants across the country, and no one has ever reported anything like this.
The Department of Labor wants to see the report.
Yes, I'm aware.
What are we going to do? This tears us to pieces. What are we going to send them?
They want to see the report? Send them this.
One page?
The most important page.
Drinker will never stand for this.
Drinker works for us. This is a proprietary matter. What we do with it is our business.
But the Department of Labor, Arthur.
We just need a little more time.
They could shut us down for this.
Scientists and government men have no idea what it takes to run a business. Von Shockey thought that advertisement was a dirty word. He laughed at the very idea of promotion. I couldn't tell you how many times I walked into that man's office and he turned a deaf ear to everything I told him. But look at us, Charlie. We showed him. We showed him. We're now the world's largest single supplier of radium. The largest in the world. You know what it took for us to get here. Do you really think I'm going to stand idly by and watch our good name be dragged through the mud? Trust me, Charlie.
Dr. Flynn, thank you. It's so nice of you to come all this way.
No, my dear, not at all.
I told the surgeon he was coming over here, so he gave me the results of my blood work. And
I must say, Miss Fryer, your blood looks better than mine.
it does?
That's what happens to an old man who smokes.
Oh.
Now, tell me what else is troubling you.
Well, my feet and back mostly. I've had to wear a brace for a while.
So I see. And it started before you left the company or after?
After I left. Dr. Neff, he says this all has to do with the radium. I know one girl who died from it, Irene Rudolph.
No, yes, terrible thing. Vincent angina.
What's that?
It's an ulcerated condition to the mouth, my dear.
From the radium?
No. It's an unfortunate and rare result of poor dental care. So let this be a lesson. Always brush your teeth.
I read something else in the paper about this, about other girls who were getting sick. One girl I worked with for a while, she got so bad they sent her up to the doctor in New York, and the doctors don't know what to do.
Don't tell me you're paying attention to the papers. Those stories are not scientific. Reporters are not scientific. They write to sell, not to educate. The scientist, he is concerned with the truth, not themselves. He undertakes years of painstaking study to arrive at a complex understanding of intricate natural processes that many can never presume to comprehend. So you would do well to listen to science and ignore the nonsense that is printed in the newspapers. Because I can tell you right now, radium has nothing to do with what's ailing you.
It doesn't.
Not the least.
Well, then what is ailing me?
Poor diet, Miss Fryer, poor diet.
But Dr. Neff said...
Dr. Neff is a dentist, not a physician. What you have is a vitamin deficiency. You must eat more fresh food.
Well, that's awfully hard to do in the winter.
And raw meat as well. Raw calf's liver particularly. Cook it if you must. But eat twice a week at a minimum. No. I'm a scientist, Miss Fryer, and I take a purely scientific interest in the situation. By allowing me to examine you, you are helping me to advance my studies. And for that, I thank you.
Okay, Dr. Flynn, thanks.
Call me anytime, day or night. I'm happy to be of service, my dear.
Dr. Frederick Flynn, PhD, Columbia University. PhD? Catherine, that man's not a real doctor.
My findings, Mr. Roeder?
He's seen half a dozen girls who used to work at the plant. Word I hear he's working for the company.
An objective evaluation, I trust?
The source of my funding has no bearing on my research.
And I let that fella examine me.
I never examined her, per se. It was not a medical examination, per se.
Nevertheless, you were able to offer her some useful advice?
I did my best for her.
Every girl he sees, it's the same thing. Nothing wrong with you.
Your blood's better than mine, he says.
And how are you doing on the rest of the report?
The animal studies I conducted reveal no adverse effects from the radium. The problem, as you suspected, is one of personal hygiene only.
I can't believe someone would do that to you. Straight up lie to you like that.
Nothing surprises me anymore.
It's exactly the way you said, Catherine. Those people, they'll do anything. They'll say anything.
Except the right thing.
Well, we're gonna make them, Catherine. We gotta make sure somebody hears about this.
I'm very grateful, Dr. Flynn, but I'm particularly grateful to hear that the girl you examined is doing much better.
I never examined her. No, I merely consulted with her.
All the same, she's doing much better, isn't she?
From what I can see, Miss Roeder, she appears to be on the road to recovery.
Excellent.
Here is my statement of fees and expenses.
Mr. Lee will draw you a check.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, I leave you with this one thought. We do not have to accept injustice. We can use our powers as consumers to influence the practices that wish to profit from our patronage. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Wiley. And thanks to the New Jersey Consumers League for another job well done. This concludes our program for this evening. I don't think we have time for questions, but we hope you'll join us next door for some light refreshments.
You want anything?
Yeah, my throat's a little dry.
Can I help you, miss?
I'm here to see Miss Wiley.
You're not a member of the Women's Club.
No, ma'am.
Are you a guest of any member?
No, ma'am, but Miss
Then I'm
Wiley...
sure Miss Wiley would love to see you during her regular business hours.
I am not leaving here until I see Miss Wiley.
It's okay, Miss Middleton. It's fine. You must be Miss Fryer.
Yes, ma'am. Miss Young said I should see you. I know I should have stopped by your office sooner, but it's just been so long since I've been at work and I didn't want to miss no more.
There was no reason to apologize. I've actually been meaning to call on you myself. Here, please have a seat.
Well, me and Catherine, we went to the company about our troubles, but we never heard nothing. So we went to see a couple lawyers, but they all said they couldn't do nothing. Something about the law won't allow it.
Yeah, that's called the statute of limitations.
Right.
Yeah.
And one lawyer, he said he would try to sue anyhow, only he wants $1,000 up front. I already spent everything I saved for my wedding on doctors and dentists and hospitals, and I still don't know what's wrong exactly. And Tom, he's my fella. He says he don't care. He wants to get married anyhow, only I just wonder what good would I do him like this. Miss Wiley, if I could just get some compensation, maybe I could settle my debts, and then I wouldn't feel like I was saddling Tom with such a burden. I'm sorry to rattle on at you about these things. I am just so tired of being pushed around.
I don't blame you.
Miss Young at the health department, she says the Consumers League has, what did she say? Clout.
Well, I mean, I'd like to believe we do. We have had our fair share of successes.
Oh, good. Then you can help us.
Tell me, Miss Fryer, just how far are you willing to take this?
Ma'am?
Say I do get your lawyer, who's willing to take your case on contingency, which means you don't have to pay unless you win. Would you be willing to sue?
I want my compensation.
Of course you do, but say the company comes to you and says, here's some money, but you can't tell anybody what we've agreed to. You can't tell anybody how you've gotten sick.
Keep it quiet, you mean?
Yes.
Well, that doesn't seem right.
It's not right, but that's what they're going to try and do. They're going to try and buy your silence. Is it for sale, Miss Fryer?
No, ma'am, it is not.
Okay, good.
Well, can you help us then?
I think I can help you, if you're willing to take some chances.
Chances?
Well, if you're willing to set your own interests aside, just for the moment, I think we can stop that company in its tracks.
What do we have to do?
We start by putting your face on page 1.
Page 1, you want Grace to talk to newspapers.
Not just one newspaper, many newspapers.
Is that really necessary? All we want for Grace is to get her compensation and...
Tommy, let her finish.
Listen, I understand your concerns, but this company's already gone to great lengths to show it's willing to protect itself. I'm afraid we're going to have to hit them where it matters most, which is their public image. When every newspaper in the country is telling how you've suffered, telling your story, and how the company's had a complete indifference to its workers, then Arthur Roeder's going to come to you with his hat in his hands.
All right, Miss Wiley.
I know it's a little frightening.
Well, that's okay. I'm more angry right now than I'm scared.
Okay, good. Hold on to that anger, because you're gonna need it. Only be sure no one sees it.
How do you mean?
Public sympathy, Miss Fryer. That's our strongest weapon, and sadly, the public doesn't have much sympathy for an angry woman.